Hey, Phil Ebener here with OnlineCourseMasters.com. I want to talk about my recommendations for self-hosting platforms for course creators. This is part 2 of this video series. If you're watching this on the guide page, thank you for watching. You probably watched the other video that's above. If you're not and you just found this video on YouTube or online, we have a complete guide to the best platforms for course creators, and I'll link to it below this video in the description. So check it out so you can follow along. So we talked about hosted marketplaces in the last video. In this one, we're talking about self-hosting options. First off, what does that mean? To me, what self-hosting means is you are creating your very own online school in essence. So it's going to be your website, your branding. It's basically going to be a mini Udemy, but for your own brand. There's lots of different platforms that allow you to do this on your own. There are also some tools such as WordPress plugins that allow you to do this on your own WordPress website or your own hosted website. And so there are those kind of two differences where there's one option where it's all the tools are together. It's basically like creating your own account with this platform, but it is branded under your own account. And then there's the other option of piecing together different tools for your own website. Now, I know that's a little confusing, so let's go into it. And we'll talk a little bit more about the pros and cons though first. So the pros of a self-hosted school is that it is branded under your own website. So it's kind of cool that you can create your own online school. You don't have to send people to another platform such as a Udemy or a Skillshare to take your course. Instead, you get to keep that traffic, keep that person engaged on your own platform. So you also have a lot of control over the things that you lack control of on a hosted marketplace, such as what you can teach, the structure of a course, the quality of a course. Obviously, we want your courses, and your courses should be super high quality, and that will do better. But some courses have different requirements, such as X percentage of a course has to be video, whereas you might have more content that's audio or content that's written, and that's not going to work on a platform such as Skillshare, but on your own platform, you can do that. In terms of communication with students, you have access and you have integrations to all of your own email marketing tools. I use ConvertKit, so that connects with my self-hosting option, which for me, I'm using Teachable. But now I can do things like automatically send students emails when they enroll in a class. I can automatically add them to an email sequence when they enroll in a class. So that's something that you can do to keep students very engaged. And in terms of what you can say, how you promote, how often you promote, you have that control. You also have control over the pricing. And this is probably the biggest deal, is that you can sell courses for pretty much any price. So if you do have a program or a course where you want to charge a higher premium price, $100, $400, $1,000, $10,000, you can do that with your own self-hosted course. You can't do that on Skillshare or Udemy. So you have more control over the pricing. You also have different pricing options. So you can do one-off pricing. You can do membership, sort of subscription style pricing, such as a monthly subscription or an annual subscription. You can also do payment plans. So you can charge someone a 3-time payment plan. So there's lots more control over how you price and how you can create courses. And that's ultimately going to be the biggest separator between a hosted marketplace and your own. The other biggest thing, which is now a con, maybe for some of you, is that you have to do all of the marketing yourself. You can put together an amazing course on an amazing platform of your own, but it's unlikely that anyone's going to find it unless you do some marketing yourself. So if you don't already have an existing audience, it's going to be a lot more work to sell a course on your own platform. Now, some people may argue the opposite, but I truly believe it's going to be harder to start making money without an audience self-hosting than it would be to start without an audience on a hosted marketplace. But in general, it is going to be more work, and you're going to have to do things like more complicated sales funnels and different types of marketing yourself to sell on your own platform. So that's one of the biggest cons. The other con I will also mention for the self-hosted platforms that I'm going to share in just a second is that at the end of the day, you still don't have 100% control over your courses and the platform. Things like the tools and features can change. The pricing for features can change. I've been on Teachable and I recommend Teachable, but there have been things that have happened over the past several years as they've grown, as they've changed their own business, that have ultimately changed how much I'm paying, what features I have, and lots of things like that. But the good thing is that these platforms are continuing to adapt to the new online educational world that we live in. They're continuing to add features. They're continuing to deal with things like tax laws and regulations for different countries that you as an instructor might not want to deal with if you did have a school that's built on your very own platform. Maybe you want to deal with all those things, but for someone just getting started out, it's probably easier to use one of these all-in-one self-hosting options. So let's talk about them. We have the biggest players in this right now are Teachable.com, Thinkific.com, Zenler.com, and Kajabi.com. What's the difference between all of these? To be honest, they're all very, 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 very similar. And I want to preface this by saying that no matter what option you choose, it's not really going to make or break your online course business. I think one thing that people generally are asking when they're saying, should I use Teachable or should I use Thinkific? The core question they're really asking is, which platform is going to help me make more money with my online courses? And to be completely honest, there's no right or wrong answer. Both of them are perfectly fine for you or for anyone who's teaching online courses. Some of them have different features. Some of them look and feel a little differently. And that's probably the biggest factor that I would consider if I was choosing one of these. Go onto their websites. Generally, they'll have samples of their course platforms or other people who use their platform. Go onto their websites, see and look and see how it feels. Maybe even sign up for one of their classes and see what the course process is like. If you are in the Online Course Masters Academy or on Video School Online on our platform over there, those are both hosted with Teachable, so you kind of have a sense already for what it looks like for on the student side. But there are subtle differences just in things like the layout or the typography and that kind of design stuff that can somewhat be customized. But if you're just getting started out and you want to use like the basic templates and things, it will be a little different. And that might be your ultimate deciding factor. In terms of pricing, it's still very similar across these platforms. I think Kajabi is a little bit more expensive. I know Zenler actually currently as this moment is doing a complete overhaul of their platform. They're going to come out with new Zenler soon. By the time you watch this, maybe it's just going to be their basic Zenler. So I'm not exactly sure where they're at right now. But at the end of the day, all these platforms are basically the same. They give you basically the same options. The biggest thing I'll say though right now is that once you decide on a platform, it's not very easy to transfer to another platform once you have a lot of courses on that platform. So you can get kind of stuck with a platform if you start to build it out. If you have a lot of students, of course it can be done, but kind of know that you are making an investment and a commitment to a platform once you choose. Now, saying that, I can confidently recommend Teachable as a platform, even though some people have their qualms. Everyone has their qualms. People have qualms with all of these platforms, but some people have their qualms with Teachable. What I've seen is that over the past 5+ years, they've continued to make the platform actually better, and they're really invested in making it the best option or one of the best options for people who want a self-hosting platform. So I have faith that they're going to continue to do that in the long run. And so I've stuck with them. If you only have one course or you're just getting started out, most of these platforms have free options, free trials, or a free plan that you can sign up for and just play around with. Maybe you want to build out your school or build out a single course and just see how it feels, see which platform is easy for you. I do want to quickly mention some of the self-hosting options that are more WordPress plugins that will help you have more control. So there's a few: Learn, WP Courseware, and Sensei. Zippy Courses is another one. I think they've converted from just a WordPress plugin to more of an all-in-one platform as well. But these are WordPress plugins, and you can get links to all of these if you're following along with the guide that is linked to below. But these are all WordPress plugins that you can install on your own website, meaning you have complete control over everything, basically, with the security of your website, the communication. Who knows? You never know if a platform like Teachable will go out of business, and it might be better to have 100% control over your website. And that's what you get using one of these plugins. Of course, these plugins can also go out of date and never be updated, and you might have to change things. But if it's on your own website, you do have a little bit more of that control and that long-term control. But at the end of the day, if you're just starting out, I would recommend using one of the self-hosting platforms like Teachable or Thinkific. I've used both of those. I've played around with both of them, and I think they're great. I personally have not used the other ones, Zenler or Kajabi, but I know other instructors who use them and love them, so I do include those in my list of top self-hosting options. All right, so I hope that all makes sense. If you still have questions or concerns, or if there are any other options that you know of, please let me know in the comments below in the video, or if you're on the guide page, let us know in the comments below as well. And hopefully this helps. Let us know if this helped you understand what platform is best for you. At the end of the day, you can also do a mixture of all of these. You can put your courses on hosted marketplaces and a self-hosting platform. You don't necessarily need, and I would suggest not putting your courses on multiple self-hosting platforms, except just for testing it out. But once you pick one, run with it and use that one self-hosted platform. You don't want to have a Thinkific school and a Teachable school. That doesn't make sense. But it does make sense to have your courses on a platform like Udemy, Skillshare, and your own platform if you want. Of course, there are some caveats with that in terms of pricing, and if you have your course on your own platform for X price, you might not want it to be on a hosted marketplace because you want it to be more exclusive. But those are other decisions that you'll have to make. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know if you have any questions, and as always, have a beautiful day.